Hey everyone, I recently posted a brief trailer to my new YouTube channel, but in that interview I had a lot more to say. Here's the rest of my introduction. Tutor who tutored the flute trying to teach two tutors to toot. Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat. So, who is this Tim Shar character anyways? Well, I'm pretty much just your average dude with a day job who's got back pain from sitting at a desk too long, but I do have a little bit of a side hustle going on that I like to do in my free time, and this channel is pretty much a collection of everything I like to do in that side hustle. It's a lot of energy. So, what is this channel going to be about? Shar Wood Company. Shar Wood Company was the company that I created during the pandemic when I started to woodwork. It is the company that I operate all of my woodworking under, all my tree service stuff under, so that is where Shar Wood came from. On any given week, you might see me climbing trees, falling trees, taking logs from the job site to the milling site, milling lumber from those logs, and then ultimately drying that lumber to make things out of in the future. I might make furniture, restore antiques. I would really like to build a house at some point. My plan is to build a shop with an apartment above it and then live in that while I build a house, just looking for land, actually currently looking for land. So if anyone knows of anyone selling land in the southeast Wisconsin area, let me know. We might have a buyer. So, how I got started in all of this is probably related back to what I did in high school. A couple buddies and I, Joe and Nathan, we started a longboard skateboard manufacturing company in high school. We made contours, molds, and we pressed veneer layers on those molds to get a profile for the longboards. And then we would cut them out with like a jigsaw, and then we would come around with a router and a template to clean it up and finish the boards. We put grip tape on them, put graphics on them and stuff. So like super valuable experience. However, it's not like traditional woodworking. And then fast forward about 5 years when the pandemic hit. And I'm sure like many of you, I was feeling absolutely anxious and I just felt totally stuck in my apartment. But I found out that there was a 10 by 10 space in my basement of my apartment. And I asked my landlord if I could turn that into my woodworking shop. She gracefully said yes. And that is how I started woodworking. So then I kind of outgrew that 10 by 10 space. I kept using it, but I needed a little bit bigger of a space. So I ended up joining the Bodgery, which is a makerspace. Shout out to them because they are doing it right. They have a massive facility, they have awesome people, and they welcomed me. They welcomed every one of their new members. I had so many opportunities to build things, and I would stay there super late at night because that was my free time. And I basically had the shop to myself with all this really nice big equipment. So then I learned how to build some basic furniture and I had so much fun. I ended up moving away from Madison and I don't currently have a shop right now, but over the last few years, I've kind of had to figure out creative ways to do fun things, do the things that I want to do without having a dedicated shop for woodworking. It just took the mindset of not wanting to sit around and being depressed in my apartment to learn how to do new things. One of those things was learning how to fall trees, and then I got so enthralled with that I decided to learn how to climb trees. I'm totally an amateur at most of this stuff, but there's so many resources, whether it be books, other people in the industry to talk to, or YouTube that you can learn from, and you can do so many things with just those resources. So why am I here? Well, guys, I've known for a while that the thing that makes me most excited in life is building things, creating things. And I don't mean just things physically. It could be a computer program or a spreadsheet or what I'm doing here, building a YouTube channel and hopefully a community to go along with it. That's ultimately why I decided to create a YouTube channel. It's the perfect place to create things. Perhaps the most important thing I want you guys, my viewers, to take away from this channel is an attitude or mentality of self-sufficiency, self-reliance. When I started doing all this, I had no idea how to use a table saw or a miter saw. I didn't even know what joinery really meant when it came to woodworking. I sure as heck never used a chainsaw before. I never climbed a tree. What else? I had never framed a wall. I mean, I never had any of this growing up, and that's totally fine. A lot of you guys probably came from families similar to me where you didn't learn any of this because it just wasn't, popular in your family. That's totally fine. You could be the first one in your family to learn some of this stuff. And while you do need to know your limits, you absolutely need to know your limits when it comes to risk, we can learn a lot before we hit that limit. The reality is it just takes consistency and just persistence, right? So if you think about tackling a huge project all at once, it's gonna feel totally overwhelming, and you're definitely not prepared to do that. But you might learn one thing a day or one thing a week or even a month, but it adds up. If you're doing something that frequently, you're gonna be doing big things before you know it. It just takes you saying, I'm gonna do this, even if it's gonna be hard, even if it's gonna really stretch my creative muscles. You just gotta take that first step and have the confidence that you can do it, because you can. So we're gonna kick this thing off with a series of videos on how I built this studio behind me. It's actually just a corner in my dark and dingy basement. So I built a wall behind me. I built this workbench. I put a pallet board wall on there. There's actually a window behind that frame there. Shout out to Sophia for the designs. Thank you so much. I absolutely love the logo. I built this live edge shelf from a piece of scrap at the mill. This wall wasn't here, so I built some framing, really basic framing that I'll show you how to do. It was really easy, and I'm gonna show you how I did everything. And the cool thing about it is that I did it pretty much on a budget. The pallet wood behind me I just got from Free Pallets. The only thing that I really spent money on were the plywood wall here, which is expensive. Plywood is expensive, but that was like 50 bucks or something. The MDF panel behind the pallet wood, that was probably another 50 bucks. But besides that, it was just lights. And you can spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on lights for your film studio. But I think what I have, 4 work lights from Home Depot that were $10 each, and then light bulbs. So I am really excited to show you guys that you don't need to spend thousands of dollars to get a product that looks all right, which I would say this looks all right. It's good enough for what we're trying to do. And that's just have a space for me to talk to you guys directly without any other distractions. So all this to say, I'm extremely excited to be on YouTube finally and to have this creative opportunity ahead of me. If you do think that you'll enjoy this, or if you've seen some of my other videos that I posted, please like and subscribe. That felt really weird to say for the first time, but please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Unique New York, unique New York. And so that I hope you did out. Oh.